Okay, this is the Technology Man, and welcome back again. This is video number 2. It's going to be an extension of video 1, but actually we're going to be looking at, as I promised you, how to extract video from your DVDs and a tool that you can do this with. Again, I'm not paid by anybody, I'm not plugging anybody, I'm not trying to give anybody the best. I have no stake in any of this other than to provide you with the best information I can give you, and you can make a good educated decision. The application we're going to be looking at is something called Make MKV, and we're going to also look at, when we go back to Plex, as you remember from the first video, I was accessing Plex through the web. Well, I'm going to access it through the app that is set here from my MacBook. When you open up Make MKV here in the About, we're looking at version 1.15.1. This is sort of freeware shareware. Freeware in that you can extract as much video from a DVD as you like. That's the freeware part. The shareware is when you get into Bluetooth. It'll only allow you to use it for Bluetooth, and then you have to buy a license which will cost you $50 and plus tax. So that is something that's interesting. When you boot up or launch it, I should say, launch Make MKV. I already have a video in here. This is Friends Season 1. It's actually Disc 2. I already have 7, and then you click, and I'll just show you how you read. And we click the little icon that lets us read, and it should then scan all of these titles, and when it does, and you can see it's adding titles, and then these here, it has to be more than 120 seconds in length for it to be a real title. So these must be items that are part of what I would call and I'm just going to eject my disc again and unmount it and then let it eject it and put it back in, and you can watch here what happens as I do this. You see it spin it here, it's telling us it's spinning, and I've got to make sure I force quit the DVD player in case it runs it. So I don't want the DVD player to run. Okay. Well, let's just make sure, and there, yeah, DVD player just ran. We don't want to run that. It's going to automatically do that. So you do all of this. You get the drive information here, your disk information here. Okay, tells you the entire capacity, which, as I said, is about 5 gigs. I think I said 5 gigs almost per disk, depending upon what's on the disk. Remember, if this were something like a Blu-ray, it would be much, much higher because there's more data. And then, of course, you click on a little DVD icon here, and we're going to reread it one more time just to show you how it reads it. It's a very quick procedure. It's very nice. Each one of these DVDs has 6 episodes, so it's not at all a shock that they have 6. It's going to find 6 titles, and then 7 through 16. Well, they're not long enough. They're probably menus and things like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, since I have the 7th title in there, I'm going to concern myself with the 8th one. Now, you would do these all in one shot. Here, I'm going to go to the file name, and notice how it placed this file name in here. I'm going to go to the advanced tools here. This is the tools icon. Let me just do it one more time so I don't go too quickly. It should say preferences, tools preferences. It's in expert mode, right? And you'll see the advanced. This is the naming convention here. I've got it set for E for episode and M to start from 0, 1, and go onward. Now, the name you see here is going to be the name that it finds here, which is this. Can't change that. It's a little bit restrictive. And it picks up the whole name, Friends Season 1, right? Wherever there's a space, it's going to put an underscore. That's what that name 2 is for. It truncates everything. So here, for example, I'm going to place it as episode 8. And the other thing I'm going to do here is take off S1. Or take off everything but S1. Okay. And the reason I'm doing that is because, now you could do this before or after. I could have recorded it and let me just leave it at that just to show you something. Why you have to do that. And why this, we're gonna strip it out like this, but there's a reason why you need to have an S1E or SXEX notation. The other thing we have to do is specify where we want it to go. Right now it's going to default it to this directory, which doesn't exist actually. So we're going to go and pick up little icon here will allow us to go into the directory of choice where we want to place it in our share drive, and we'll give it a second here to pop it up under television. Nope, I didn't want to do that. Let me go back. I double clicked under television and friends. And you can see we have 1 through 7 there. Okay, now we're going to strip it out here. We're going to hit the extract button right there at the top and let it go. As you can see, we have about just under 1.4 terabytes, good size space. I've calculated that if you had all 10 seasons of Friends and you had 4 DVDs per season, you're looking at about 20 gigs per season. Let's say 21 times 10, which would give you 210 gigs. Out of the 1.3, that's not bad. You still have a terabyte, over a terabyte of space if I did everything here. Now, I did explain to you in the first video that you want to have something like a NAS where you can have an ungodly amount. This is only a 2 terabyte drive, but I'm talking, my idea would be, I would say 8 terabyte drives would give you more than enough space for an incredibly large amount of movies. And television shows. Now, television shows will take up more space. Remember, lots of episodes. Movies don't. So you could have a 16 terabyte drive for your TV episodes, and maybe you can go to an 8 for your movies, and maybe you can go to an 8 for your music and an 8 for your home. So you can mix and match it to what you want in a NAS. Right now here we're limited to 2. And as you can see here, we have 2 bars here. Now, the first bar tells us the current operation. We have about 2 minutes remaining here, and this is the total operation. If I were extracting all of the remaining files from the disk, it would tell me how much time I had remaining. In terms of write protection, this does not prohibit you in a write-protected environment. It will allow you to extract it. One of the things what I've noticed is that the audio in certain types of DVDs is limited to what it has recorded on it, and it sounds great. There's no question, but there are some mild variations in audio. So I just want you to keep aware of that. And for some reason, Plex, and this is an issue, an ongoing issue, at least on your computer, not on your TV so much, but on your computer, the audio can be a little bit lower when it's played. On your TV, you can boost it. There's no problem there. You'd want to anyway to bring it up so it's loud enough to hear for whatever it is. But certain video, and I've seen this with my Hawaii Five-0 series, it's nice and loud. Or the Twilight Zone, nice and loud. Even Night Gallery, it's kind of loud. This particular one with Friends was a little bit lower than I expected it to be. And it has nothing to do with anything other than Plex, because if I open up the actual file itself, it plays beautifully on my computer through QuickTime or whatever application, VLC, I think it's VLC is the application. And we're going to get into those at some point down the line. I'd like to show you the differences between VLC and QuickTime. But here, we just showed you how you can even edit that file name right then and there. I would rather leave it automated, but another thing too is that M at the end of that file name, that it extracts out. It starts at 0, 1, and if you're doing this, you're on your first video, it'll go 0, 1 to 0, 6. All right, episodes 1 to 6. When you pop a new video in, it should continue the naming sequence from 7 through 12. I haven't seen anything to the effect that it does not. What I have found is if you shut down Plex, I'm sorry, not Plex, Make MKV and bring it back up, it resets the sequence. We're complete here, so we're good. As I say here, if I shut this down and bring it back up, it'll automatically set this as, this is going to be 2, not 1. This one here is 1. And as you can see here, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. But these are not correct because this is really episodes 6 through 12, or 7 through 12, I take that back. So we're going to see now here what happened. And what we're going to do is, under television, we're going to scan the library files, see if we find anything else. And I'm going to come into this right here. Again, season 1. I'm in the Plex Media Player application. Interesting little thing here. And of course you see 6, 7, and we're looking for 8. We're looking for episode 8. I'm going to tell you right now, it will not pick it up. There's something to do with the fact that you need nomenclature for your episodes as S for season, X for the number, underscore, E for episode, X for the episode. I do it S01, E01. So season 1, episode 1, and so on. We're going to wait here, and this is our activity monitor in Plex, and it's found nothing. So I'm going to go back and go to my, whoops, not there, and go to my Finder. Come on, bring it up. I didn't open it twice. Right, there we go. And television and friends. And as you see here, it violated it. Now there's no way that I've been able to accomplish the ability for it to actually name things this way, because it takes that name in Make MKV, this Friends season 1, and it slams it right in front here, as you see. If I go to name, it takes this here and it brings it up in front with all underscores. All right, and that comes from that comes from name 2. There's no comment, there's no time, and this title default, there's none of that either. So it just takes this and it brings them together. But you need all that coding in there. Okay, so by naming it in the way that I did, let's see now if I scan my library files, if I find it with it correctly. And this is the reason why a lot of people using Plex have trouble populating data in their files. And I have it going through the movie database, by the way, and I believe I mentioned that earlier in episode 1. The movie database has a better grasp on episodes to DVD. And it isn't just movies, it's everything. It's TV as well. Let's see here, it should pick it up. We're waiting, and we just picked up episode 8. Now you may ask, well, wait a minute, it didn't pick up all the metadata just yet. Give it a chance, it will. We're going to just go back to Friends, and it's still going here, you see. That's why. It hasn't completed the process. So we're going to, oops, I just launched the whole Friends, didn't want to do that. Let's go back to, here we go, episode 1, or I'm sorry, season 1, and scroll down. It just looked at all of them there, and there we go. And there we go. It says it just picked up the information on this. We're going to look at it to see that we see all this information, and there it is. Little summary, the rating, the whole 9 yards, right? Pretty good, right? Yeah. And the info. So you see, without naming something properly, what you're going to have is an issue with it populating in Plex. So this is for television. For movies, and again, we go to the movie and the documentary one here. I'm going to just edit here. As long as a name is mentioned, and it is mentioned here, it'll pick up that. This has to do with it picking up that information and then connecting it to the metadata. Now again, there's only one Friends series of that ever came out. There's no, you don't have two different Friends series, and you can see here it picked up even the characters in it as well. So Make MKV, I'm going to give it, and whoops, just brought that up the wrong thing. I'm going to give Make MKV 2 big stars for its ease in extracting information. You may also ask, what about these things here? If you drop these arrows, you'll see you can pick up subtitles in different languages too if you want them. Right now you've got surround sound in English for your audio. You've got subtitles in English. Your video is MPG-2, and closed caption and text in English as well. You can add to it if you wanted there, if you had some reason to. It's not picking it up in English or the other languages for a reason. I have defined this. I'm going to go to my preferences to my language as English. If I had defined my language as French or something like that, it would pick up everything in French and Spanish and so on. But I could select all of it if I wanted to. Right there. Same thing here. So this to me is the 2 big stars for its ease of use. And let me just go back to the preferences again to show you some of the things here. Your general ones here, you can set your directory here if you want for where, this is your data directory where you want to place your data, but I leave it alone. I pick my data directory. Don't worry about debug messages. You can contact the server for updates. Expert mode is on right now because the advanced is clicked in here. And then of course video here. We have it on auto and input-output language as well. Our language is English. Protection we have on auto. I don't integrate anything with it. And of course the advanced is here. The other thing that I think it was where it's specified, let me see, yeah, here it is, minimum length in seconds for, and that's the 120 that we're seeing. So if you had set this to 0, it would have picked up every single title. These aren't really titles, but just to show you quickly before we close, I'm going to set it to 0. And what I'm going to do then is to rescan this disk. And we're going to do that. So we're going to eject the disk and put it back in.
Dad, dinner.
And we ejected it. We're going to eject it right now. Let's see. It's unmounting, so just want to show you what would happen. I wouldn't do it. Okay, it ejected. I'm putting it back in. Let's see here. There it goes. It's spinning about. Because what I want to show you is what you might see under those titles in the drop-down to show you they're not real audio. And I've got to force quit my DVD player. I'm going to do that. Okay. And I'm going to read them, and let's see what we get. Okay, we're going. Now it's going to read everything. It's not going to reject anything at this point since 0. Notice they're all added. They're all added. Nothing's rejected. and they're not 120 seconds, meaning you need to have at least 2 minutes worth of video or something. And okay, here we go. We're waiting. Excuse me. So it'll read these and set them up. Okay, now let's see what happens with some of these smaller ones here. You do have some video, some MPG video there, but I'm wondering if this, and I'm just going to curiously deselect everything here except one of them. I'm just curious as to what that is. Probably is going to be, I'm guessing, let's extract the largest possible one, which is going to be this one right here. And see what the file name is going to come up. It's 17. All right, we're going to then bring this into the right directory. It should take should be very, very quickly. And nope, let's go back. There we go. Okay, and let's do an extraction of it just by itself and see what happens, because I'm wondering what I'm going to see. Again, this is a very, very quick one. It should only take a few, or a minute, if not even a minute. And we're looking at elapsed time here. Let's go back to the Finder. Here it is. Excuse me. And it was already saved. It was that quick. Let's see what happens when we open it. Just to show you, it's going to probably open with VLC. Yeah, my VLC player. To show you it's not a real title. And here we go. Let's see. It's simply the warning and the copyright. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, so there's copyright information. There's all kinds of video. Let's see what... Oh, we have this in different languages for the copyright purposes. Excuse me again. So, yeah, I mean, if you had a need for this, you could extract it out, and so it's playing different copyrights in different languages. That's what this is. It's very interesting. You don't need it. It's not real video. It's not real episode video. Probably go through every single language that it's in, which is interesting. Excuse me again. I'm sorry. It looks like Korean, maybe? I don't know. I'm not fluent in any other language but English. I knew some Italian, but what else we have here? And then, wow! Okay, and a Warner splash screen, too. And there you have it. So, I'm going to quit that. We're going to delete this. This is interesting that that's even in there. But it is video. And again, just to go back to the preferences again, and here you want to have it at 120 seconds as a minimum, so that you only pick up, right, you only pick that up. And that's really, you see on open files here. Okay, that's for opening up files right there, for saving files. This here is for save selected titles. This is backup. I'm sorry, backup, save, our preferences, and of course our eject button. Don't worry about the profile issue here. You can't do anything with it. AAC stereo, you need other applications for that. FLAC and WDV TV, I don't really. There's almost no purpose for it. There are options that have been put in by the Make MKV team. Again, metadata language is English and name. So if I were to rescan this, and you may ask, is there a way to rescan it? Not that I know of. Let's see here. If I select all, right, and if I unselect all, I can unselect them. However you want to do it, could be the easier way to do it and pick what you want. It's up to you. The other thing I will say about it, I'll give it one more star for its flexibility and being able to. So, first one is ease of use. Second one is being able to name things pretty easily. And the third one, the flexibility with what you can capture or extract and rule out. So again, here, these particular titles here have no meaning to us other than splash screens and other kinds of things that are there. I would imagine you might get splash screens that you could add if you wanted to, in types of video you wanted to add it to your Plex. And finally, while we're in Plex here, the Plex app allows you to look not only at Plex from the point of view as you did in the web browser, but you can go to your TV layout, and your TV layout is less friendly only in the sense that it expects you to play videos. It doesn't expect you to customize anything. So from that point of view, whoa, what happened there? Go back. I think it just hit a glitch, but let's see. Let me try again. TV should work. Enter TV layout. Let's try it. Oh boy. I'm going to close down. Let's see. Let me force quit some of these items that are running. Make MKV. See if it's not able to run it. Didn't do that before. Actually, let me close it down and bring it up and again and see if it's an issue with. This does happen sometimes. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right. Now it should be tied to my account, meaning I don't have to do really anything at this point. Yeah, okay. Let's try to go into the TV now. Let's see here. And I know it worked before. Okay, yeah. Oh, I see. I was in TV before. Now I'm on the web version of it, and TV's here. Enter TV layout, which is here, which is what came up initially in the app. And there we are. So in the TV layout, when I come to that, you're going to see it look like this, right? And if I want to go to a particular show, for example, I think it's going to let me go into the show, and then of course, yeah, you can select the season, and then you don't have, in the TV app version of this, you're going to have the ability to, if you were on television, select with your remote. And here, this is going back to the web version of it where I can customize it. Now, you can create users with PIN numbers. You can restrict things for adults or children. And as I've said, here's some that we're playing, right? These are going to be the splash screens, by the way, that you see, or the background when it's running. Right now it's season 1, the pilot here, and how many minutes left on each one. I come to edit here. You can continue with automatically manage or manually manage your screen. And yeah, now you go back to that, what I was telling you about, which is what looks like the web management of it. Okay, and then you can set these things up. Artwork, markers played, add to playlist. You can then select whichever one you want, right, from season 1. So you can set this thing up for automatically managing it, or you can manually manage it, which is pretty interesting because it'll really it's up to your flavor, right? So. Right. So Just go to Hawaii if I go for a minute, and yeah. So season 1, and yeah. Then I mean, it's really interesting, really is. So I would say for the Plex app itself, it works nicely. You don't have to be logged on to, well, you don't have to be in the internet itself, Explorer. You're there. For Make MKV, that application, that particular application, first star is for its flexibility. It's very easy to use. Second star is its ability to be configurable. We can change things, we can name things. And the third star is its ability to cut anything we don't want out. And in the case of we don't want any video that is snippets or what we saw before, splash screens and things like that. And as you see here, it's going to skip whatever is not greater than 120 seconds. I take 2 stars away from Make MKV. One of them is because the naming convention can't match Plex, or can't be flexible enough to be set up to match Plex, but that's not Make MKV's fault. It is not. And also, I take the other star away because it does take some doing to get this thing really working. You can go to the website for Make MKV. They have a whole bunch of forums there, a lot of help for you. There are lots of other strippers to do this, but this is one of the best that I've found so far. So I hope you like it, and stay safe, stay well, and we'll be back with a third video shortly.